wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter. And what a crazy day yesterday. My anxiety is through the roof. Good morning, Anitra. Before we get into this crazy Diddy mess, let me cover my ass. No Diddy. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show, no filter, are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good morning, y'all. Shit. Was everybody's anxiety going crazy yesterday like mine? If you could hear me in the chat, put ones in the chat before I get started. Ones in the chat, let me know y'all can hear me before I get into this. Hey, what's up, Libby Bear? My girl, Libby Bear. Ones in the chat, ones in the chat, ones in the chat. Yesterday, y'all, I was watching the damn verdict so closely, I couldn't even eat my fucking Popeyes. I ordered one of them old school spicy chicken. I love them spicy chicken Popeyes sandwiches. Couldn't even eat the shit. I'm looking at the verdict. I'm looking at the notes the jury is passing. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But I think something funny with that juror number 25. But we're going to get into the whole thing. And as much as everybody dissecting it, it's still a lot of unknown. Still a lot of unknown. Everybody's making guesses, but you really don't know where they at in this verdict as far as guilty, not guilty. I'm going to tell you what I think and what I feel in my heart. But let's all keep in mind, we don't know until they come and give us a verdict. Let's get right into it. So as we know, yesterday, we got a verdict at around 4:00, a partial verdict. The jury said they have reached verdicts on 2 through 5, counts 2 through 5, and they didn't reach a verdict. They were hung on count 1. It's so confusing. I'm going to break it down and explain it because a lot of people don't even understand, because it is confusing. You know, this is my job, so I have to research it, get the breakdown, and it took me about an hour to fucking understand it myself, to get all the ins and outs on what this partial verdict means and what was what. So first of all, count 1, as you all know, is the racketeering charge. That's where they're split at. That is where the jury in the Diddy case is split at. Now, split can mean 11-1, 10-2, 6-6. We don't know. I'm guessing split is like 11-1, 10-2, or something like that. So let's go over the charges. So count 1 is where they're split on, where they don't have a verdict yet, as of yesterday. Count 2 is the sex trafficking charge that involves Cassie. Count 3 is the transportation for prostitution, you know, flying the sex workers and across state lines and all of that. Count 4 is the sex trafficking involving Jane, who we all know who she is, but so they don't sue my ass, I ain't gonna say who it is, but anybody that got 50 cents in their pocket know who who Jane is. Also, number 5 is also another transportation for prostitution involving flying sex workers across state lines and all that. So to make it simplified, number 1 is racketeering, and you got 2 sex trafficking charges, including the 2 ex-girlfriends, and you got 2 prostitution charges. Now, The sex trafficking charges carry up to a life sentence. So they have verdicts on those two. Both of those two carry up to a life sentence. The two prostitution counts or charges carry up to 10 years. So they have verdicts on 2 life sentences plus 20 years worth of charges. As we know, the racketeering and RICO carries a life up to life as well. So let me explain to y'all about the racketeering and RICO. See, the fact that Diddy has so many predicated RICO acts can also play in his favor as to why they are hung or why they haven't came to an agreement. Now, there are a lot of different ways they can be hung on RICO. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. It could be a split vote on RICO, 11-1, 10-2, 6-6, whatever. But what makes RICO a little bit more different, yeah, exactly. Somebody just said it. I'm going to go back to that comment. Thank you for that comment. I'm going to try to find it because somebody in the class already said, okay, there it is. There you go. Thanks, Steph. That's what I was about to get to. Everybody reads Steph's comment. What if they can't agree on the same predicates? That's exactly what I was about to get to. Thanks for bringing it up, Steph. That's the part that nobody's talking about. It could be that they agree, they could all agree on the RICO, but they could be disagreeing on the predicate charges. And so, for example, you have kidnapping. I'm just throwing charges out there. Predicate acts. You have kidnapping, obstruction of justice, drug controlled substance, drug trafficking, money laundering, violent assault. You got different predicates, right? All 12 not only have to agree on RICO, but all 12 must agree on the predicate offenses to get RICO. So even if all 12 agree, but some say forced labor and bribery, some say sex trafficking and obstruction of justice, or any different predicate acts, that is not a verdict. So in order for them to have a verdict on RICO, not only do they have to all agree that he's guilty on RICO, but they all have to agree on the predicate acts. And that's a part of it that some people aren't clear on. Now, let me give you my breakdown of what I think. They're haven't agreed on RICO. I think there's only maybe 1 or 2 people who aren't agreeing on RICO. I don't know if it's necessary to predicate acts. I think there may be 1 or 2 people that just don't see RICO on that jury. But what I can say is that if they have verdicts on all those other charges or counts, but they are divided, which means there are people that see RICO. If there are people that see RICO, there's no way, to me, there aren't guilty charges on all or some of the other counts. Because to me, if they were not guilty, let's say if they were voting not guilty on all the 2 through 5 charges, I would think it would just be a not guilty vote on RICO. I don't see how you could have be split on RICO and have people voting for RICO and not have some guilty, if not all guilty on those 2 through 5, or some guilty, half guilty, or 3/4 guilty. So I believe even from the lawyer's demeanor and Diddy's demeanor, they were saying Diddy, when they read whatever paper they gave to the lawyer, and whatever lawyer told Diddy, they said Diddy's head was sunk. They say he appeared defeated. They said he had his hands, rubbing his eyes and head down. He did say he told his mother that he's going to be okay. And I think he said something to that nature to his kids as well. But from his demeanor and just common sense of what I'm thinking, one thing we can rest assured is that I believe either all of those 2 through 5 are guilty, or at least half of them or some of them. Like I said, if all those charges were not guilty, I just don't see them being split on RICO. So, but we don't know. They could come back and have a verdict and have a guilty verdict on RICO today. We just don't know, but because we don't know what split means. We don't know if it's 11-1, 6-6. We don't know if it's maybe they all agreed on RICO, but they didn't all agree on the predicate acts. We don't know. So there's a strong possibility that today they could agree on a verdict on RICO and have RICO. But in my opinion, there has to be a guilty verdict in there somewhere, or else why the hell would they be arguing? Or why would some people feel strongly about RICO and not guilty everywhere else? It doesn't make sense. So we shall see. I believe we're gonna have a verdict today. This jury is very diligent. This jury is really breaking down the law. I really think juror number 25 is the holdup on RICO, I believe. Because he was already the one that they were saying is not following the judge's instructions. And then now you got to split on that one charge, RICO. I believe that juror number 25. Yep. And I'm glad you want to break that down. And I'm glad you brought that up. I believe juror number 25 is the cause of this. Thank you, Melissa, because I do want to clear that up too. Because this is something else that some people are not clear on. Let's say if they're hung, like Melissa said, let's say they got verdicts on 2 through 5. Well, let's say they're hung on count 1. If he got guilty verdicts on 2 through 5, the judge will sentence him on that, and then they will retry count number 1, and then the trial will just be RICO. The feds will have ample amount of time to bring more witnesses, more evidence, because if you remember, Diddy asked for a speedy trial here, so the government had to basically cut their investigation short. So in a mistrial, all the witnesses, Cassie, everybody are going to have to come right back because they all got immunity. They are all involved in this case. They don't have a choice. So you'll have all the main witnesses from this case and then some and more investigation. And then the prosecution can focus on wherever they feel like they may have whatever stones they may have left unturned. They can reevaluate their approach. And like I said, I would almost guarantee if they're hung on count 1 and they got guilties on most or all the other charges, I would guarantee they're gonna retry it and they're gonna get him on the RICO because they'll have more time, more evidence, and there'll be a laser-like focus on that charge versus a slew of charges. So like I said, the fact that he has so many possible predicate acts for RICO could be playing in his favor. They could be disagreeing on what the predicate acts is, and by today they could come to an agreement. RICO RICO is very dangerous for Diddy, because if they do find RICO, all his money and assets are virtually gone. That is why RICO is so important. But I'm hearing from different sources, he can also lose assets, money, and company over the sex trafficking part of it as well. I haven't been able to do my own research on that, but that is what I've heard from a couple of sources. As a matter of fact, one source was a YouTuber, Ticket TV. He was explaining about how the sex trafficking part of it can also cost Diddy assets, money, and company stuff. So, like I said, I haven't researched that, but I do know the RICO, and I'm sure many of you know, if he is found guilty of RICO, his money will evaporate, his assets will evaporate, his companies will evaporate, in a sense. So thanks, Melissa, for bringing up that, because a lot of people, so they want to understand. So if it's a mistrial on that count one, he'll still be held accountable for whatever counts he's guilty on for counts 2 through 5. And if they're hung and there's a mistrial just on count one, they'll just come back and do count one over again, and maybe a year and a half. And like I said, at that point, the prosecution will have more time to investigate, which will lead to more evidence, possibly more victims, and a more laser-like focus on what actually RICO was. Any other questions? Anybody got any questions about the verdict or anything like that before I get into the articles for today? I figure if anybody got any other questions about what's going on with that, I'll answer that before I get into these articles. Let's see. What does somebody say? Like I said, it's not looking good for Diddy though, because like I said, if they're even split on RICO, and like I said, I have a feeling it's 11-1, 10-2, something like that. But the fact that people have voted for RICO lets me know they have to have some guilty charges, because if all those other charges were not guilty by unanimous votes, they wouldn't be sitting up there arguing about RICO at all. Yep, and then also someone said in the chat, and they can use the guilty charges as evidence, and that's why I said, if they do have a mistrial on the RICO and they come back, in my honest opinion, they would get them the second time. I think most definitely. Trying to see if yes, Gina did talk on sleazy TMZ sleazy. I will. We can talk about that real quick. Gina, who was victim number 3, I believe. TMZ spoke with her at a grocery store. I think she was coming out of a grocery store, I believe. If y'all know in the chat, let me know. I think it was a grocery store. Gina, who was victim number 3, that would have been a whole nother sex trafficking count. So Diddy got away with a whole sex trafficking count by her not showing up to court, but they caught her and going to her car. They asked her, she said she's not scared. Diddy never did anything violent to her. She's not scared about retaliation. But that was kind of odd, because if anybody saw the Tasha K interview, she talked about how Diddy stumped her stomach, made her have a miscarriage, beat her in the head, and all type of things. So now she says Diddy never did anything violent to her. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that. But just to reiterate, TMZ did speak with Gina. I guess yesterday. TMZ sleazy. No, but they did talk to Gina last night. They had a video of it as she walked to her car. So thank you for bringing that up, Melissa. Any other questions or comments? Yep, and if they do a retry, they will use all the evidence they have. most of the witnesses, especially the ones who got immunity, all of the employees, Cassie, everybody will be forced to do this all over again and be a part of it. But to answer your question, yes, they will use same evidence, but they'll use more evidence because they'll have more time to investigate. And if we don't have any other questions or comments, I am going to go into the articles. Somebody said, fans paid all the jurors before the trial. Dickie said the fans paid off all the jurors. Somebody said that girl still need to be careful. What is it? Like, I like this question. This is a funny. I love this question, and I like to address this because I don't know people. Just because you saw me from Diddy, I was bigger than this. Diddy case didn't get me any more followers or any more clout. I've done far more before Diddy. I've had Diddy is not my thing. I actually get less views because I've been just covering Diddy. So anybody that doesn't know, I'm big in any space of media. If I could talk about a fireman rescuing a cat out of a tree, and I'm gonna get millions of views. So for everybody, I just want to be clear for anybody that thinks it's just Diddy, I actually get less views because I'm only covering the Diddy trial because that's a commitment that I made because this is the biggest trial of my lifetime. And I am a journalist. Matter of fact, top 3% journalist in the world. I am top 3% out of legacy media. I am top 3% in the world, not in the nation, in the world. Diddy is not my everything. Diddy is just the trial of the century. I love this comment, though, because this is people, just because you found me because of the Diddy trial, you got to look up. I have about five historic accomplishments in the space of journalism. Diddy is actually small to me. On Instagram, I had 127,000 followers when the Diddy case started, and I still have 127,000. Y'all think Diddy thing is big as far as my following. It's actually not. I can't wait for the Diddy trial to be over, actually, because I am the best at covering all media. Like I said, if a dolphin does a backflip in the ocean, if I talk about it, I'm gonna get 1 million views. So I've unfortunately surpassed the stories. It's about what I want to talk about. The stories don't make me; I make the stories. So I'm glad to address that comment out loud because some people who don't know shit, they think did Diddy something made me, and Diddy is actually the smallest feather on my cap. So thank you for that. I'm more known for all the missing women I've located, all the missing children I've located, all the racist cops that I put behind bars, and all of the stories where I covered people being unalived by pastors and stuff like that. So I'm glad that you made that comment to give me a chance to address and toot my own horn a little bit. Like I said, I do 2-3 million views a day. I'm top 3%, top 5% podcast, and I dominate every social media platform with or without Diddy. So I'm glad to answer that question for those that may be misinformed. But if you do a little research, which most people don't do any research, you'll understand I've done so many historic things. This Diddy thing is just the trial of the century, but it's actually the smallest feather in my cap. And I can't wait to get to all the rest of the stories because that is what I'm about. So thank you for giving me a chance to enlighten everybody about my accomplishments. It's nobody in legacy media that is even close to me in journalism as far as reach. So like I told you, I could talk about an ant farting. I could talk about a cat pissing on cotton. Breaking news, a cat just pissed on cotton, and I'm going to get 1 million views. So I just need you to know that. Let's continue. Somebody said good luck, Dickie. So we're going to continue and get into these articles. Let's see where we want to go first. Diddy trial betting. Let's go to jurors reach partial verdict in Sean Diddy Combs trial in the New York Post. Hey Daphne, thank you for the love. The love. The troll. Hey, look, the trolls, in other words, trolls, I'm about big as they get. I ain't going nowhere. As much as y'all would hope that after the Diddy trial, but I about as big as they get when it comes to journalism. I dominate social media. I literally dominate social media. So you gonna have to get used to me. I ain't going nowhere. I put a shirt on before I fall off for a damn Diddy trial. You crazy? I'm getting less views. I can't wait for Diddy thing to be over so I can talk about all the breaking news, all the trending news. So let's get into this. Jurors each reach partial verdict in Sean Diddy Combs trial, ordered to keep on deliberating. This comes from the New York Post. I love the New York Post. Jurors at the bombshell trial against Sean Diddy Combs reached a partial verdict Tuesday, but won't be allowed to deliver their decision yet. Diddy Combs, the panel of 8 men and 4 women was ordered to keep deliberating by Manhattan federal judge Aram Subramanian after reporting it had reached a verdict on 4 out of 5 counts, but couldn't agree on the top charge of racketeering conspiracy. They sent in the note. They said we got verdicts on 4, but we don't have verdicts on the racketeering. So the judge said, hey, keep going. The shocking announcement came after just 12 hours of deliberations, which will continue on Wednesday. Oh, thank you, Daphne. Look at Daphne. Thank you, Daphne, for the $49.99 super chat, super sticker. You about to make me pass out. $50, y'all. What a tip. I appreciate it so much, Daphne. You are the best. Everybody show Daphne some love for looking out for your boy. You know, that's a whole lot of food. Y'all know the super chats and super stickers go towards my eating. Y'all know I'm greedy. Told you I'm a big dude, like 6'3", 2. I just got on the scale. I'm like 235. Shit. I was like, damn, I'm 235. I got on the scale the other day. 6'2", 6'3", 235. I eat a lot. So that $50, Daphne, is going to go to a few nice meals. Matter of fact, I might even grocery shop. Give me like 5-6 meals with that. I appreciate it. But let me continue. Everybody show some love to Daphne. Nicole says, thank you, Daphne. Yes, we all thank you, Daphne, for holding down the Flow Show. As a matter of fact, I will get back to I missed a super chat too. I was trying to get to it, and then this thing moved so damn fast. I'm like, shit, I missed it. So if you gave me a super chat, and I missed it, it's because this damn chat moving so fast, and I tried to go to it, and I don't know what the hell happened. I think it was Steph. I don't know. Was that you, Steph, that gave me a super chat? I saw it real quick. And then it wasn't there no more. Anyway, maybe I'll get back to it at the end. So anyway, let's continue in this article, y'all. So the judge said y'all need to deliberate a little more. We need a verdict on count 1 if you could do it. And so the judge sent them back in. So they said we have not reached a verdict on count 1 because we have unpersuadable jurors on both sides, which by that verbiage is seen as multiple. So which means both sides, they have people that are saying like, no, this is RICO. And on the other side, they're saying, no, this is not RICO. So that is what's going on there. So referring to the charge, they say, hey, we don't have one. Now, the Bad Boys founder is accused of leading a criminal enterprise for 2 decades that allegedly plotted to commit arson, kidnapping, sex trafficking, and other offenses. Combs, who was pleaded not guilty, appeared forlorn after 7 lawyers huddled around him before the note was read out to the courtroom. Now, I'm going to stop right there because let me give you some context on how Diddy was looking when all this went down. I kind of covered it on my story yesterday, but this was the mood in the court as this was going on, y'all. It was a subdued atmosphere. The overflow rooms where they put the extra people at, the overflow rooms were scarce, meaning not a lot of people out there. And then in the main courtroom, Diddy mom was sitting amongst, they say largely empty rows. Not many people were there. They say Diddy was in a white sweater, watches his attorneys as the note comes. Now, as the note came, sticky note Diddy was definitely sunken in his seat as all his lawyers surrounded him. As all the lawyers surrounded him, he was looking like, they say he had his hands in his eyes or whatever. I mean, hands covering his eyes, wiping his eye or whatever. And as the lawyer brought him the note, they said when they brought it, Sean Combs was standing there with his hands in his pockets as Agnifilo spoke to him, and his other lawyers came and huddled around him, and then he sat down. He had all 8 of his attorneys sitting around him talking. As they say, he was looking down with his hands crossed on his lap. Then he began rubbing his eyes with his thumb and his index, something like this. And his lawyers continue to talk to him. Then Agnifilo, the defense attorney, returns and hands Sean Combs another piece of paper. And they said Diddy stared at that piece of paper and stared at it with a defeated look. Now, I don't know if maybe Diddy's thinking like me. I don't even know what the piece of paper actually said, but maybe Diddy was thinking like me, like, well, if they are split on RICO and they have verdicts on all these other charges, some of these charges have to be guilty verdicts, because I just can't see all not guilty verdicts and then they arguing about RICO. I would think they'd be ready to go home. And if you didn't see any crimes anywhere else, how would you even see RICO? So Diddy was looking defeated, and it's an empty, none of his family was there. None of the, not the daughters, the sons. It was just the mom and not many people even at the fucking trial. So let's continue. Both prosecutors and Combs' lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, told the judge they didn't want him to accept a partial verdict. Both parties want an actual verdict. So the jury deliberated. So what they did was they told the judge, we just want the jury to continue to deliberate. Subramanian agreed not to force the jurors to deliver their partial verdict, instead telling them, I ask at this time that you keep deliberating. The jurors started deliberating on Monday and almost immediately remembered sending a note saying that they were concerned about one of the members, a foreign-born Manhattan person who couldn't follow the judge's instructions. Now, yesterday, the jury asked for portions of Combs' ex-partner Cassie Ventura's testimony to be provided to them, including her recounting the infamous caught on camera assault by the music mogul in Los Angeles hotel in 2016. Now, other portions of Ventura's testimony the jurors requested, including her recalling a 2013 incident with Combs accusing her of taking drugs and booted her from a yacht at the film festival, and later threatened to release videos of her having sex with male escorts during freak-offs. This is the stuff that the jury requested. Transcripts and extra and more evidence. I mean, to go over the evidence again. This case largely centers around the testimony of Ventura, who claimed Combs repeatedly beat her up and forced her to partake in the freak-offs, days-long sex sessions with male prostitutes that he recorded. Another of Combs' former gal pals, Jane, testified anonymously that she was also forced into the degrading sex marathons and that he threatened to stop supporting her financially if she didn't keep participating in the freak-offs. A conviction on the racketeering count requires the jury to find that Combs carried out at least 2 underlying crimes with the help of his employees and inner circle. And remember, I told you the jurors have to agree on the 2 underlying offenses. Jurors can pick any 2 out of arson, bribery, witness tampering, kidnapping, sex trafficking, forced labor, and drugs and prostitution related crimes. The defense showed jurors hundreds of messages the 2 women sent to Combs, with some showing love and some showing that they were done with the freak-offs. We went over that in great detail, and that is where we are at. 7 weeks of testimony, and we are at. It's all good, Angie. Angie said that was meant for Dickie. Y'all killing Dickie in the comments. Hey, she says, Melissa says, Flo, you're the voice of truth no matter what it is. Exactly. Truth. Hey, look, the truth is always needed. It's just the trolls and the people who only care about Diddy that just care about Diddy. People know we've been on this journey for what, 2.5, 3 years now? It'll be 3 years in January, so we at the 2.5 year mark. No, I believe it. I got you, but I use that to say some stuff I wanted to say anyway. So I appreciate it, y'all. I understand. I caught it, but I still wanted to use it to say what I had to say. I get it. So I already understood it, but I wanted to say that anyway. Because there were some people saying that on my Instagram, talking about what I'm going to do after the Diddy trial. So I caught it, but I still wanted to get that off my chest. So I get it, y'all. Immediately when I saw it, I already saw what it was, but I wanted to say that anyway. So we all good. Yeah, so I get it, y'all. So check this out. So another thing, so what I did was I saw an article just to get an idea, I thought this was interesting. So there was a gesture. I talked about the gestures of Diddy. I wash it, go. Hey, look, somebody said, Dickie, my face is pretty. I wash it, go wash your ass before the short bus comes to pick you up. Y'all, hey, look, y'all are frying Diddy. Y'all frying Diddy so much, y'all thought y'all was frying me. But no, I'm just playing. I knew y'all was talking to Dickie, but that was a perfect opportunity for me to say something that a few people had said on my Instagram. And so I just needed a reason to say what I wanted to say out loud. But let's talk about the Daily Beast has an article talking about the gestures Diddy made after the jury's deliberation note. So before Manhattan federal court judge read aloud the jury's 4:05 p.m. note on Tuesday, Combs' trial, the music mogul defense team learned of its contents. Yeah, Angie fire, ain't she? They gathered around their client, a defeated-looking figure. Now, this is the article. People try to act like I'm spinning a narrative. I told you, I don't create narratives. I don't create narratives. I go off the facts. I go off of articles, or I go off of what the hell I see with my own damn eyes. So this article says itself, and this is separate from what I saw through my courtroom investigation. They showed that the defense lawyers gathered around their client, a defeated-looking figure in a light yellow sweater and gray pants, as he slumped in his chair, staring at the words on a white piece of paper. Minutes later, however, as the day came to a close, Combs took a cue from his lawyers when he turned to his family members who were inside the courtroom and placed his hand over his heart in an attempt to reassure them, just as his lawyer tried to reassure him. So let's explain this scene, y'all, before I continue in this article. I told y'all, Diddy looked defeated, whatever he saw in that note. I guess maybe the note just said that they had verdicts on certain charges and they were split on RICO. But Diddy ain't no dummy. He a lot of things, but he's not dumb. He does dumb things. He is evil. He has no heart. He cold-blooded, but he not dumb. And I believe when he read that note, he saw the same thing I saw and said, if they're split over RICO, then there has to be guilty charges in here. And even the prostitution, which is really clear cut. Let me say that. The prostitution charges, which there are two, basically deal with flying and transporting sex workers over state lines. That's pretty much black and white. Those are 10 years apiece. Those are pretty much black and white. If you remember, they had Diddy, they had the records of the flights being paid for. They had the credit cards that were used. And they also had the sex workers actually testifying, and through testimony through Cassie and Jane, they had overwhelming evidence that these sex workers were flown, that Diddy flew these sex workers across the globe. So those two charges are pretty much black and white. I don't know anybody will argue that's not guilty. Those are 10 years apiece. So that's 20 years worth of charges right there. And those are the small ones. And then you got sex trafficking with Cassie and then sex trafficking with Jane, which are two. Many people feel strongly about Cassie's sex trafficking. Some are kind of out on Jane. Cassie's carries up to a life sentence. Like I said, I'm sure Diddy looked at whatever was on that note and said, if they are tripping over RICO, then there has to be some guilty verdicts in here, and which is why he probably was sunk, and his whole demeanor was all fucked up and drained, and then he had to gather himself and turn to his family and try to reassure them because he was looking defeated, deflated, he was looking fried, died, and to the side. And so let's continue. In the moment, however, Combs' lawyers' encouraging words and gestures did not keep the music mogul's head from dropping, from drooping. They say Diddy was like this. Stone face. head down, as his lawyers try to reassure him and try to give him a positive spin on this negative situation. But his head was drooping. His right hand rose to wipe the corner of his eye and then dropped to his thigh, tapping, 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 tapping his feet, tapping his hand. Whatever hope he still had of prevailing in this case and returning to the life of the hip-hop billionaire he once was, there was no evidence that he believed in that happening anymore. I don't know if they tell, I'm sure they don't tell him what the verdict is, but from Diddy's demeanor, Sticky Note Diddy was not as confident as he had been. His lawyers were trying to say anything they could to make him feel better, but according to this article, and I told you before we even read this article, I told you that all the courtroom people that I follow who have been given A1 account of what's going on, they all said Diddy was damn near crying. Thank you, Anquinette. What the heck is going on with this? I'm getting so many things. I can't even thank people for the super chats. It keeps going past it. Anquinette, thank you for, here we go. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Thank you, Anquinette Brown, for the $10 super sticker. Y'all feeding me good. I'm gonna be 240. And I like it. Make me 6'3", 240. I'm gonna play for the Browns. Put 5 more pounds on me. Y'all keep feeding me like that, I'm gonna be 240. Weigh myself next week, I'm gonna be 240. Big dude. But he looked defeated. And the reason why it became clear to anyone who then heard the judge make the jury's words known to everyone in the courtroom. We have reached a verdict on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those were charges of forcible sex trafficking and transportation for prostitution. No matter what, I feel like Diddy is cooked. Hey, look, Anisha said, "Come on, new Browns player, Flo. Yeah, come on, put me at tight end. Put me at tight end. I could play tight end right now." Then of course they did not reach a verdict on count 1. We all know the racketeering charges, the RICO charges allege that Diddy ran a criminal enterprises that engaged in arson, kidnapping, bribery, witness tampering, forced labor, and drug distribution. Combs had pleaded not guilty to all counts at the start of the 6-week trial. We all know that. The jury is probably going up. They went over Cassie's testimonies. And at the end of the day, the jury said, "We will be back tomorrow." The jury, at the end of the day, they said, after they deliberated a little bit, they said they couldn't finish it yesterday. And so they said, they sent a note to the judge and said, "We'll be back tomorrow," which was yesterday, which is today, which means that in about 40 minutes, the juror will be back deliberating today. So again, y'all, I already know that y'all wasn't talking to me when y'all said what you're gonna do after tomorrow. But I just want to again clarify. That was something I wanted to speak on anyway, so I took that opportunity and I ran with it. So any other questions before I get to the next article? Because I know it's a lot of confusion right now with the charges, and by the end of this show, I want to make sure everybody in the community understands exactly what's going on, so we can be on fucking pins and needles together as our anxiety is through the roof as we see what the hell these jurors coming up with. Because like I said yesterday, I couldn't even eat my damn food. But don't get it twisted. After they sent that note and they said that they had verdicts, I smashed the hell out that spicy chicken. I was like, I got Popeyes. However, y'all remember that commercial? I got Popeyes. I killed that Popeye. So let's get some more likes and share this comment. Got 170 people. Make sure we should have 170 likes. Please like the live, share the live, get live. I was so hungry. Once I, you know how when you ain't got anxiety, and I'm like, what the fuck going on? What the fuck going on? I can't eat my food. What the hell is going on? And then when they said we got verdicts on four of the five counts, my appetite came back, and I was like, I got Popeye. I smashed that, and I ate that macaroni and cheese. It was so cheesy. That cheese was just I was pulling it like it was a bow and arrow. Oh, my troll. Hey, look, y'all. Look, y'all. Hold on, y'all. It's Anthony, my troll. Let me tell y'all. Hold on. Where is Anthony at? Anthony, where Anthony at, my troll? Y'all know, like, one thing I told y'all. Where is Anthony at? I gotta find. There you go. Look at y'all. Look at this, y'all. Isn't this beautiful? This is what I tell y'all. This is why no podcaster, no YouTuber, no social media person can fuck with me when it comes to this content game, when it comes to this journalism game. What do I always tell y'all? I'm so good, my trolls love me. And I love my trolls. You can't help but to love Flo. Even if you disagree with Flo. You know why? Because you know Flo is keeping it real. Flo ain't pandering, and Flo don't have any fucks to give. I gave out all my fucks to give in high school. After high school, I had no more fucks to give. And this is just testimony. Hey, Anthony, look how my trolls show me love. He said, hey, yo, Flo, Daddy Flo, it's your troll, Anthony. You put a good show on during this trial. Now, how many podcasters, influencers, YouTubers do you know that they trolls love? How many influencers, journalists do you know that the trolls love them? And I tell y'all all the time, this ain't nothing new. I told y'all, I say, I'm one of the only people that even my trolls love me. You see Dickie get up at 7 a.m. He got his alarm set because you got to love me. That's why I always tell y'all, I am not a professional. I am just good. And when you're good, it don't matter if you disagree with me or you agree with me. You want to tune in and see what the hell is going to come out of my mouth next. No Diddy. And that's why I focus on being the best. I don't focus on being liked. I don't focus on saying what everybody wants to hear. I focus on being the best. Because you know why? When you're the best, they tune in whether they like you or not. So shout out to Anthony, my good friend and my good troll, who popped in on me to say I did a good job during this trial. One of my famous trolls. Everybody show Anthony some love. Even the trolls. I told y'all the trolls love the Flo community. They love the Flo community. Ain't a community like that. Everybody else be so high strung and so mean and so vicious and so cussing out the trolls. I love the trolls. Just keep it respectful, and I'm gonna keep it respectful. But my smart mouth is deadly. So when it comes to being smart, yeah, we love you, Anthony. When it comes to being having a smart mouth and a comeback and talking, ain't too many people that's gonna go toe to toe to me. Y'all be in them Instagram comments. Y'all see me cooking folks in them Instagram comments one at a time, 1v100. Look, Anthony said, hi, guys. That's a beautiful thing. This is the epitome of what the flow community, the flow show, no filter is all about. The way we do it, you can't help but love us. Look at Dickie. Dickie don't even go to nobody else chat. Dickie wait for us at 7 a.m. sharp. He coming in here ready to troll. He looked forward to it. If we didn't have a show, Dickie would be pissed off. If tomorrow came and I didn't come on for my regular 7:30 show, Dickie would be more sad than us. And that's the effect. That's the flow effect. Look, Anquinette, yeah. Hey, Anquinette Brown said, man, you sound like me because my mouth is reckless too. Yeah, Anquinette. And you know when you got a reckless mouth, you really just you give people the benefit of the doubt. I really don't try to go there. But if they make me go there, oh, y'all seen them comments. I'll be having them running. Oh, yeah, Lily said Dickie would be heartbroken. Yep. If they be setting an alarm. Yeah, hey, look, see, Tuck, we had a troll setting alarms. The trolls be setting their alarm to come in here. If I was to block the trolls, their heart would sink to the floor. If I was to block Dickie, and you know I wouldn't block Dickie, so I don't even want your heart to sink to your big toe. But if I was to block Dickie, do y'all know his heart would sink down to his big toe? I wouldn't even do that to Dickie because we love Dickie. We love cussing Dickie out. But if I was to block any of my trolls, their fucking heart would sink down to the bottom of their heel. And I would never do that because I know I know the trolls love the Flow show and they love Flow and they want to hear me. They love when I tell them to go kick rocks and flip-flops with no socks. They love when I tell them it's so quiet. The celebrity world is so quiet. You can hear a cat piss on cotton. They love when I tell them Diddy is cooked, crock-potted, pan-seared, souffle, deep fried, flame broiled, air fryer, microwave, Foreman grill, waffle maker. They want to hear that. They want to laugh. And I would never block y'all, just so y'all know. All the trolls out there, I know y'all love me. Shake and bake. There you go. Shake and bake. How could I forget? Souffle, Benihana style, wasabi. Crispy hibachi. Crispy like KFC chicken. Every day of the week, twice on Sundays, you gonna get cooked when you fucking with Flow. The Flow's Kitchen is open for business at all times, and that is why the trolls love us. This is why sizzle. Oh yeah, bring it out while it's already sizzling. So let's talk about this, y'all. I thought this was interesting. Let's talk about the odds. What are the betting odds? This is what they're saying right now. Now, I don't know if y'all gonna like this. But they talked about what are currently the P. Diddy odds in this trial. The favorite odds of what they're thinking is they are thinking Diddy is going to get between 11 and 15 years. These are the odds makers. Like a fajita. Hell yeah, y'all making me hungry. You know, one thing about the Flow show, if you ain't ate before the Flow show come on, you're going to be hungry. Because we're going to talk about some food. We're going to talk about cooking. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about butterflying that shrimp. Man, I had some good. I ain't even going to talk about them. But I had some good food. I ain't even going to talk about it. I ain't going to talk about it today. Minus 125, which is the betting odds favorite. They are betting that Diddy will receive, when it's all said and done, 11 to 15 years. The long shot on the betting odds is a life sentence, which is plus 1,000, which means you got to bet $1,000 to get $100. So according to odds makers, They don't think he's gonna get a life sentence. But what they thinking they're gonna fall into is around the 11 to 15 years. And then the odds that he won't serve any years, these are all for all my gamblers out there. The odds that he won't serve any years is plus $250. So you would have to bet $250 to win $100 if you are betting he won't serve any years. I don't like these fucking odds. I don't think they're right, but I thought they would be worth sharing. But y'all, we're going to have to, hey, everybody, if you want to subscribe to the podcast, let me put I always forget to put the subscription in there. We ain't got no subscribers in a few days, but it's my fault because I haven't even been putting the link in the, I haven't been putting the link in the chat, and I haven't even been talking about it. So that's kind of like my fault, but we're going to get back to, getting, we need some more subscribers. We need to get our subscribers back going. Like I said, it's my fault because I ain't been talking about it. I ain't been shouting people out. This Diddy trial got me all flustered. Like Diddy said, got me scrambling and scraping. But the subscription link is in the chat. The Buzzscar, if you want to support the podcast, keep this podcast going, because they say after the Diddy trial, I'm going to fall off the face of the earth. So I need y'all to subscribe. So after the Diddy trial, I don't fall off the face of the earth, and I go from 2-3 million views a day to no views after the Diddy trial. So please subscribe. And Anthony, make sure you subscribe. Anthony and Dickie. Because y'all could be trolls, but don't be no moochers. Don't be mooching. You won't be in here every day, all day, trolling in these damn comments. Get you a damn subscription. Don't be mooching. We don't mooch. Okay, we had to check him. Anthony said he subscribed a long time ago. My bad. Top it up for Anthony, y'all. My apologies. You know, one thing about it, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it won't be long before I'll be right again. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I will be right again. It won't be long. I fucked it up the first time. I corrected it on the second time. Y'all know I'm the king of the sayings. I just fucked that one up. She said, hell yeah, Anthony. Let's go, Anthony. We got the trolls subscribing, y'all. They can't do what we do, baby. Now Dickie need to subscribe, but Dickie got me thinking he don't have a debit card. So Dickie, if you have a debit card, please subscribe. If you have a bank account. Rachel said, look at you, Anthony. Anthony came through, didn't he? Anthony, hey, look, that was the best comeback. Anthony actually checked me. That was the first time a troll got one up on me because I was talking shit and dead wrong. So shout out to you, Anthony, for being the first troll to ever get one up on me. Because I was talking shit and I was dead fucking wrong. And it is what it is. Now, yeah, I take EBT. They said, hey, Dickie, they said we accept EBT. You can use your EBT card, Dickie. We accept EBT. I'll go buy some eggs and milk. I'll give me some milk, eggs, and bread off of Dickie's subscription. So, Dickie, take your EBT card. This is the chat said it. Don't get mad at me. They said it in the chat. I'm just repeating it. Get your EBT card, load it up, and go hit that like button. Dickie can't subscribe with his card. Hey, y'all, C. Tuck said Dickie can't subscribe with his card because they seized all Diddy's assets. Yeah. EBT is food stamps, Angie. EBT is food stamps, Angie. Oh, Angie from Canada? All right. Well, let's get it. Let's do a poll real quick. Let's see if we got if we going and I'm just gonna say over, even if it's one, is Diddy gonna be found guilty? Put a 1 in the chat. If you think Diddy gonna walk today, put a 2 in the chat. 1 for guilty, 2 for walking his Mohawk Diddy ass out the courtroom, and he gonna come straight looking for me. So let's get a 1 in the chat if you think Diddy gonna be found guilty on any charges, is any of or all charges. Give me a 2 in the chat if you think he gonna walk. And when after he walk free, he gonna be running looking for my ass, and I'm gonna have to be on the run. Let's see, we getting ones. Come on, ones. Okay, ones, come through ones. Marcel says 1. Marcel say guilty. Nicole says guilty. Melody, 3 hell mistrial. Angelique says good morning, Flow 1. Okay, we got a lot of ones, so we still got faith. Marcel say 1 and done. Melissa says 1. Okay, so the chat, y'all still got faith in the guilty. So where Dickie at? He don't know how to vote. Hey, look. Somebody said don't let me catch. Hey, look. Slim Bull. Hey, Slim Bull say don't let him catch you, bum. Yeah, you already know. Slim Bull, I ain't gonna let him catch me. I can run fast. I'm gonna be on the move. Like, where you at, Diddy? I just playing, Diddy. Hey, y'all, I'm gonna tell Diddy I was just playing. I was just playing for a whole year. Oh, hey, somebody said Dickie left because he can't subscribe. Hey, somebody said Dickie left because he can't subscribe. He don't have a debit card. Y'all are funny, man. Y'all are too funny. Y'all said Dickie left because he can't subscribe. Oh, you know, I already knew it was you, Keto. I know Slim Bull, and I know when you say bum. Everybody say what's up to Slim Bull. This is a long-time friend of mine. He has watched my son King grow from a 2-year-old to an 18-year-old. And Slim Bull has always been a solid brother. Please give him his flowers before we get out of here. That's one of my A1 day ones. Always a positive vibe, him and his brother. Lot of love for Slim Bull. And y'all know when I got a lot of love for somebody, I like to let the chat know that we got a real one in the chat, y'all. So everybody say what's up to Slim Bull. That's family right there. That's a good brother right there. Long time. We damn near a decade in. They said, hey, Slim. Hey, Slim Bull. Good brother right there, y'all. Show Slim that love. Yeah, then my ride or dies. Tanya say, yours, Slim. Somebody, Anthony said, freak buff. Marcel said, Slim Bull. Shout out to my boy, Slim Bull. Good brother right there, y'all. Somebody said he loses. Talking about Diddy said he loses his independence on Independence Day. Put a 1 in the chat. The chat moving so fast, I couldn't catch your comment, but you know I got you. Blame it on the heart, blame it on the head, not the heart. Because you know I love everybody. So here we go. Them ones still coming in. I'm so happy that y'all still got faith. A lot of people were a little dejected yesterday because they didn't quite understand what the hell was going on. But here we go. So Anitra, Cuzzo says 1. Let's go. Lily says, I think Lily just captured what we all feeling. She said, jurors, please make the right decision. Because if y'all let Diddy walk, his ass coming straight for me. And I'm gonna have to dodge Diddy old Mohawk long haired ass. Sticky note. I'm gonna have to dodge sticky note Diddy. Itty bitty Diddy with the Tootsie Roll. Him and his Tootsie Roll gonna be on the prowl. I'll be like, man, get away from me with that little ass Tootsie Roll. Get away from me, man. I was just playing. But anyway, on a serious note, y'all, I done blabbed enough today. We at about 20 more minutes, the jury will begin deliberating. They got verdicts on 2 through 5. Today they're gonna be deliberating on number 1. Count 1, which is the racketeering and RICO, which is a huge one because not only does it carry a life sentence, but Diddy's fortune and fame will evaporate the minute if they felt guilty on RICO. That means his mama ain't gonna have no money, his kids ain't gonna have no money. Tanya said, "Hey y'all, we gotta remain patient. His ass is out of here." I like the confidence, Tanya. I like the confidence. Somebody say he's going under the jail. Somebody say he won't catch me because he's going to be slipping and falling and all that baby oil and Astroglide. You're damn right, Nicole. You're damn right. He's going to be slipping and falling. It's going to be too slippery. Did he hate? Yeah. Hey, yeah, that's a good point. Slim Bull said, "Did he hate y'all Shaker Boys tribe? Because it's all the Shaker Boys. It's me, Kid Cudi, and Brendan Paul." Fun fact, I think y'all should know that because we talked about it, but some of the most crucial people in the Diddy situation are from Shaker. Shaker went to Shaker schools. Me, Brendan Paul, the alleged drug mule, and Kid Cudi, all Shaker boys out of Cleveland, Ohio. Shaker is a suburb of Cleveland. I don't think Diddy is feeling too good about Shaker people at this moment. But somebody said roast them, Flo. Yeah, I'll roast them. Oh, little itty bitty salute. Yeah, salute. Everybody, I don't know. Let's all see if the commissary has baby oil. Maybe. At least Diddy does. I'm sure he having some freak offs and baby oil in that damn MDC. It's no telling what Diddy is doing locked up behind walls. But let's get to our mouse in the chat, y'all. We're going to get ready for tomorrow. You already know the Flow Show No Filter on Apple and Spotify 24/7. We are a top 5% podcast on Apple and Spotify. Continue to tell your friends about it. But if you want to catch us live and kick it with the Breakfast Crew and your boy Flo, every day, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube channel. You can catch the replay on Facebook at about 9 o'clock every day, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love to everybody. Let's get to our mouse in the chat. Good morning to you, Tamika. Let's get to our mouse in the chat. Y'all know the routine. Sybil says, "I'm out." Go on, Sybil. Sybil got a nice smile in her profile pic. Everybody should be smiling like that. Who? I just missed a good "I'm out." Who is this? I'm out. Melissa says, "and I'm outie." Let's go. Courtney says, "I'm out." Tamika says, "I'm out." Melody says, "Outie." Portia says, "I'm out." And as always, I love y'all, but I'm